Welcome everybody to Yogi Plant. It's a pleasure to see you all here tonight. So tonight we have like every session, we have an all-around awesome yoga session planned. Tonight we're focusing a little more on standing stuff with leg strength and then some leg hip flexibility stuff. So yeah, looking forward to it. It'll be good to warm up a bit. My house is a little chilly tonight. So we're going to get started. So I do have my bolster out tonight because we're online. You guys can have your bolster out anytime you want, really. You might need you're actually going to need a strap or a sock, and then of course there's the block. So we're going to start tonight sitting in Sukhasana, an easy pose with our legs crossed. I have a bratty little cat running around. Looks like she's already. Sorry, I'll be right back. Thought I'd nip that one right in the bud there. Okay, we're in Sukhasana. Start with our yoga breath. Leaving all of our pets in our world outside of us. Finding ourselves on our mat for some us time. So I invite you to come into easy pose, cross-legged pose, Sukhasana. A few different words for it. And just find your yoga breath by breathing in through your nose, pausing at the top, and then out through your nose. And pausing at the bottom. So I invite you to continue on with your yoga breath at your own rhythm. Bringing your awareness to yourself, to your body. Sitting up a little straighter. Letting those shoulders fall down your back. Opening up your collarbone up towards the ceiling. Continuing with the rhythm of your yoga breath. Maybe bringing your awareness to your Mula Bandha, which is at the bottom of your pelvic floor. Drawing in your lower abdomen. Finding that Uddiyana Bandha lock. And on your next exhale, just dropping your chin down towards your chest. Lengthening the muscles in the back of your neck. Finding that Jalahara Bandha. Maybe trying all three locks at the same time. So your Mula Bandha, which is like a kegel. Your Uddiyana Bandha, which is drawing in your navel. And while you continue to breathe, your Jalahara Bandha, which is bringing your chin in towards your chest. Activating your core area. And on an inhale, raising your face up. And then lifting your face up towards the ceiling and then letting your head drop back. That's okay today. Only going as far as it feels okay. And on an exhale, coming to center. Holding here for an inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to just look to our right. Holding this for a yoga breath. And on our next exhale, turning towards center. And keeping going all the way to the left. Holding this for a yoga breath. And then inhaling to center. Exhaling. And on your next inhale, we're going to raise our hands up towards the ceiling, bringing them together in prayer. And as we exhale, we're just going to bring our hands down towards our chest, letting them go at the pause. Inhaling, bring our hands up again to prayer, mindful of the pause. Exhaling down through center, letting them go down to our sides, the pause. One more time, inhaling up to prayer, exhaling down through center, bringing them down to our sides. And then surprise, we're going to do one more, inhaling up to prayer. And this time as we exhale, we're just going to tilt towards our left. Maintaining our weight between our two sit bones. If it feels okay, you can turn your head, look up towards the ceiling. Bringing that energy up along the left. Only going as far as it feels okay. Inhaling to center. And as we exhale, we're going to point our fingers to the left this time. Once again, looking up towards the ceiling. Remembering to draw in our lower abdomen. Creating that nice strong core. Inhaling to center. And exhaling our hands down through prayer to our sides. We're going to do a little bit of shoulder opening. So we're going to grab our strap. So you want to hold your strap as far as possible to keep so that your elbows are straight. So however far it takes you. And then we're going to inhale our arms up, pausing at the top. And as we exhale, we're going to drop them back. Going slow. And then we're going to do the opposite, inhaling up and exhaling down. So we're going to keep doing this at our own pace here. There's no real requirements of when you inhale or when you exhale, so you can follow your own breath here. You might find that you're inhaling completely all the way through one cycle and then exhaling through the other. I'm going to stop talking so I can also breathe. So the key to this is just to keep your elbows straight so you're moving through your shoulders. We're going to do one more rotation here. We're going to meet with our strap in front of us in center. Now you could just put your strap to the side. We're going to inhale sitting up. And we're going to move into a twist. We're going to put our left hand on our right knee, right hand behind us. And as we exhale, we're going to turn towards our right, moving through our navel. Breathing through our first twist of the night here. And on our next exhale, we'll meet center. Same thing on the other side, inhaling, drawing in our navel, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind us, exhaling, twisting to our left. One more breath here. And as we exhale, coming to center. All right, we're gonna come to our hands and knees here. I forgot to mention too, tonight is the second part of our mixtape series. So this is working on your requests for different poses for yoga tonight. All right, so we're gonna come into tabletop here. Our wrists are underneath our shoulders. Our back is kind of in a neutral state, and our knees are underneath our hips. And on the inhale, we're going to move into bird dog. So we're going to lift our right hand up, left foot comes behind us. And on our next inhale, if it feels okay, we're going to lift our left leg up. So keeping your gaze straight ahead, finding strength in your core here. It's a nice way to warm up. If your house has a chill like mine does tonight. Exhaling, hand and knee to the ground. Same thing on the other side. Inhaling, lifting our left arm up and putting our right foot back. Inhaling our right foot up. Keeping your eyes fixed on a nice point in front of you. Exhaling everything to the ground. Finding ourselves back in tabletop. We're going to move to cat-cow. So as you inhale, lifting your forehead and your tailbone to the ceiling. Or cow. And as you exhale, going through those motions, moving in the opposite direction, tailbone, forehead to the ground. And then moving at your own pace as you inhale into cow and exhaling into cat. Couple more rounds of these, really moving through your shoulders and your spine. And when you're exhaling into cat, tucking in your abdomen, maybe using your gaze, following your gaze to your upper thighs. And of course, in cow, you're releasing your abdominal muscles. After your last cat there, we'll meet in tabletop. Coming back, finding our strong abdominal muscles. And on an exhale, we're going to flip our toes, bringing our tailbone to the ceiling, coming into downward dog. Giving your knees a little pedal. And of course, moving your hips back and forth. That feels good. Giving your body a nice chance to warm up here. You could have your knees bent a little bit tonight. And your gaze or your drishtis up at your navel. And on your next exhale, we're going to bend our knees. We're going to inhale, big step towards the front of the mat, bringing both feet to the front, exhaling down into forward fold. Now, like I said before, keeping your knees bent so your tummy is resting. However, your tummy is not just all out resting on your legs. You're still engaging your abdominal muscles here, and you'll find that if you're mindfully engaging your abdominal muscles, You're keeping your lower back strong, and then you're working towards straightening your legs, maybe just a little bit more tonight. Inhaling up halfway into Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling back down, hands all the way down to the mat, and then inhaling up all the way into salute, hand towards the ceiling, and exhaling down through Samastiti down to Tadasana. Good job, everybody. We're going to breathe through our feet here, through our Pada Bandhas. Well, we're not actually breathing through our feet, but we're breathing that energy up through our feet, up through our legs, engaging our kneecaps, feeling that strength in our thighs, remembering to tuck in our lower abdominal muscles. You can do this while you're breathing. Actually, your lower abdominal muscles are not involved in breathing whatsoever. It's the area above your navel. On an inhale, we're going to inhale into salute. Exhaling our hands down towards the mat. Coming into Uttanasana or forward fold. Inhaling up halfway, hands to shins or the knees. Exhaling our hands back down to the mat. We're going to take a step back with our right foot, keeping our toes facing the front of the mat. We're coming into a low lunge. Hold this for a yoga breath. And as we exhale, we're going to take our left foot, bring it back to meet our right, coming into our version of plank. Feel free to drop your knees here. And on the next exhale, you're going to lower all the way down to your tummy. And on an inhale, you're going to raise your chest and your shoulders off the ground into baby cobra. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Finding that tabletop. And on an exhale, flipping your toes and raising your bum to the ceiling. Here we are in downward dog. Your fingers are spread. You're pushing through that fleshy part of your thumb. You can imagine like a little suction cup so that your palms are not flat on the ground. They're slightly lifted on the inside. Just the big fleshy parts of your hand are touching the mat. Raising that tailbone up towards the ceiling. Maybe turning your elbow pits out a little more towards the front of the mat. And on an exhale, we'll bend our knees. Inhaling our feet to the front of the mat. Exhaling down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling down. Once again, taking that time to mindfully place your hands right down on the floor. And then inhaling up all the way into salute. And exhaling down through Samastiti. And then hands down to Tadasana. Okay, we're going to move to Sun Salutation B now. I just opened my feet up just a little bit, like probably about, I don't know, 2 inches. Just maybe hip distance apart, a little less than that. I'm going to inhale my hands up to the ceiling. And as I exhale, I'm going to bring my hands down through prayer to my chest and bend my knees. So because your feet aren't too far apart, you should still be able to touch your thighs together. So you're squeezing your thighs together. Peeking down, looking to see if you can see your toes. And if you can, maybe try to go just a little bit lower. Once you're at a good level, dropping those shoulders down and back. Engaging those abdominal muscles, drawing that navel in. Drishti, gaze ahead here. Keeping that yoga breath going. And on an exhale, we're going to drop our hands down to the mat. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling our hands back down to the mat. Oh, this time stepping back with your left foot. Coming into a low lunge. And on exhale, we're going to take our right foot to meet our left. Coming into plank. And as we exhale, keeping our elbows close to our body through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhaling up to baby cobra. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up through tabletop. And exhaling into downward dog. So if you feel your shoulders inching up a little bit, just imagine drawing them down your back towards your hips. Continuing to breathe here. Gazing towards your upper thighs or your navel. Checking so that you cannot see your heels peeking around your feet. And on an exhale, we'll bend our knees. Inhaling both feet to the front of the mat. Exhaling down and forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling our hands back down. Stepping our right foot back behind us. Turning it out so that our toes are kind of facing a little bit beyond the front corner of our mat. Our left knee is over top of our left ankle. We're going to inhale our hands to our waist. Coming into Warrior One here. So you're welcome to stay here, or if you like on the next inhale, raising your hands up to the sky. Either open or press together. Maintaining your weight balance between both feet here. One more breath. And on exhale, we're going to bring our hands down on either side of our foot. We're going to inhale our right foot up to meet our left. Exhale down, forward fold. Inhaling up halfway. Exhaling our hands back down. This time stepping back with our left foot. So same thing on the left side. Our back foot is open up about 45 degrees. Right knee is over top of the right ankle. We're going to inhale our hands to our hips. Checking to see that our pelvis is facing the top left-hand corner of the mat. And then if it feels good, inhaling our hands up towards the ceiling. Drawing that navel in. Keeping that apple core strong. Allowing those shoulders to fall down your back. And on an exhale, we're going to take our hands, bring them down to either side of our foot. This time we're going to pivot our back foot so that our toes are facing, both facing the front of the mat. And then we're going to take our right foot back to meet our left. Coming into plank. Holding for a yoga breath. And on an exhale, we're going to lower down to our tummies. Inhaling up through baby cobra. Keeping that core engaged, pushing our navel into the floor. Exhaling down. Inhaling up through tabletop. And on an exhale, coming into downward dog. So after checking to see that my fingers are spread, I aim my drishti or my gaze towards my thighs. Pushing through my palms up towards pushing my tailbone up towards the ceiling. Maybe finding a way to drop your ankles down to the floor a little bit closer. Downward dog. Lots of stuff going on here. And on the exhale, we're going to bend our knees. We're going to inhale, big step up towards the front of the mat, bringing both feet to the front of the mat, exhaling down, taking that time, bend our knees, engage our core, and put our hands flat on the floor, inhaling up halfway, gaze forward, exhaling back down, forward fold. And then we're going to bend our knees. We're going to inhale our hands up to prayer to our chest, coming into chair pose. So taking a moment here to check our alignment, checking our toes, letting our shoulders fall behind our back, gaze straight ahead, engaging that core to keep your lower back strong. And on the inhale, we'll come to salute, hands facing the ceiling, maybe coming into a mini back bend here, and then exhaling our hands down through Samastiti, back to Tadasana. I hope you guys are nice and warm like I am now. Not even missing my sweater one bit. Okay, on an inhale, we're going to take a big step back, opening up our back foot quite a bit so that our pelvis is facing the long part of our mat. Even if you're feeling a little adventurous, you can widen your stance a little more. We're going to inhale our arms up into a T. And as we exhale, we're going to bend our left knee coming into Warrior Two. So you take a peek back at your back hand there. Make sure it's in line with your front. Checking that your front knee is in line with your ankle. Balancing that weight between both feet. And if it feels okay, turning your drishti to face over top of your left hand. Nice strong Warrior Two here. As we exhale, we're not going to move our legs. We're going to take our right hand, put it down along the back of our thigh, flip our palm up to face the ceiling. And as we inhale, we're going to raise our palm up, coming into reverse warrior. You're going to feel that left palm sort of slide down the back of your leg a little bit. And your drishti is up at the ceiling if that feels okay. If not, straight ahead. One more breath. And as we exhale, we're going to come up, leaving our knee in the same spot, exhaling our left hand down behind us. We're going to clasp our hands behind our back. Now we're going to come into humble warrior. As you might be able to guess here, somebody requested all the warriors, so I'm going to do my best to do most of them. We're going to inhale, opening up our chest to the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to hinge at the waist, coming towards our front foot. Only coming down as far as we are comfortable, keeping our drishti at our mat here. Stretching our hands up towards the ceiling. One more breath here. And on an inhale, we're going to come all the way up, straightening that front leg. And as we're continuing with our yoga breath, we're going to pivot our feet so that now that the front, they're parallel with the front and the back of the mat. We're going to inhale our arms up. And as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands to the ground, coming into wide-legged forward fold. I'm just going to widen my stance here a little bit. Inhale, looking up. And exhaling, walking our hands back between our legs. Remembering to give our knees a little micro bend here to engage our leg muscles. Really feeling that strength in your legs and flexibility at the same time. Your elbows facing back behind you. If you're feeling a little more adventurous, you can even walk your hands back a little further. One more breath here. And on an inhale, we're gonna walk back up, bring our hands to our hips, coming up halfway, exhaling here, and then inhaling all the way up. Now my legs are a little bit wide here, so I'm gonna squeeze them in a little bit. And then we're gonna turn so that our right foot now is facing the back of our mat. Our left back foot is open quite wide once again to allow our pelvis to be facing the long part of our mat. We're gonna inhale our arms up to a T, and as we exhale, we're gonna bend that right knee. I guess I have to lengthen my stance a little bit here. You know the stance that works for you. Today you might want to try maybe lengthening a little more. Drishtis over top of your right fingers. Your shoulders are falling back behind down your back towards your waist. Nice strong legs. Keeping both legs engaged here. On your next exhale, you're going to let your left hand now drop back down your waist. You're going to flip your palm to face the ceiling, your right palm, and then you're going to inhale your hand up as your back hand sort of slips down your back thigh. Coming into reverse warrior here. And as you exhale, keep those legs in the same spot, dropping your right hand now behind you, clasping your hands behind your back, maybe clasping slightly different by putting your thumbs in different places. You'll know because it feels weird to you. We always have a go-to, right, when we clasp. Inhaling, opening up our chest to the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to hinge at the waist, looking down towards our mat. Allowing our hands to raise up towards the ceiling. Not collapsing into our front leg here, but keeping that core nice and strong, supporting ourselves through our legs and our core. And then on an inhale, coming up all the way, straightening that back leg or front leg, your right leg. We're going to pivot our feet so that once again, they're parallel with the front and the back mat. We're going to inhale our hands up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to clasp them once more behind our back. Inhaling, opening up our chest towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to micro bend our knees and hinge at the waist. Once again, allowing those hands now to fall down towards the floor. Maintaining your yoga breath here. Don't forget to breathe. Keeping your legs active through that micro bend. Maybe relaxing your head a little bit so that your neck is relaxed. And on an inhale, we're just going to move our hands to our hips, coming up halfway. Exhaling here. And we're going to inhale, coming up all the way. And on an exhale, we're going to scoot to the back. Let's go a little bit here. So we're going to go into our standing series. So we're moving into hand to knee. So we're going to shift our weight to our right hand side, maybe put our right hand on our hip, And on an inhale, we're going to bring our knee up into our left palm, finding that nice spot on the wall that you like to look at. Drawing your navel in. Nice strong core here. And on an exhale, we're just going to open up our knee. And if it feels okay, look over our right shoulder. Like always, you're more than welcome to use the wall here. On an inhale, we're going to bring our knee back in, looking straight ahead. And on an exhale, we're going to release our leg, keeping it straight. Foot out in front of us. Exhaling our left foot down. All right. Same thing on the other side. Shifting our weight to our left-hand side. Putting our left hand on our hip. Inhaling our right knee into our right hand. Bringing that navel in. And on your next exhale, just opening up your right knee now to the side and turning your face to the left, looking over your left shoulder. Or just looking to the left. And on, inhale, bringing your knee to the front. And on exhale, straightening your leg, keeping your foot in the air. And on exhale, dropping your foot down. Good job, everybody. Okay, so we're going to move to the back of our mat now, facing the mat itself. We're going to inhale our hands up into salute. We're going to exhale our hands down, caterpillaring into plank. Holding here for a breath. Exhaling all the way down through Chaturanga Dandasana. And we're going to come into Sphinx here. So we're going to take our elbows, put it where our hand was. So now our elbows are underneath our shoulders. Our hands are flat on the mat. We're going to push our pubic bone into the mat. And as we inhale, we're going to open up our chest, raising our forehead to the ceiling a little bit. Keeping those back feet engaged by pointing them out away from you. And this is actually quite a gentle back bend. So, no stress, don't push yourself. Exhaling back down. We're going to inhale up through tabletop. And on an exhale, we're going to move into downward dog. Just for a breath here, or just for a moment. So we're going to come into three-legged downward dog here. You always have the option as well to go into bird dog. Once you have your alignment, we're going to inhale our right foot up to the sky. And on an exhale, we're going to bring our knee to our nose. Inhaling, right leg back up. Exhaling, bringing that knee in. Inhaling, leg back up. And on an exhale, we're going to take our right knee, put it behind our right wrist. Left ankle goes underneath our left hip. We're coming into pigeon here. So taking a moment to settle yourself. Inhale, looking up, opening up that collarbone to the ceiling. You could grab your block here if you have it handy. And on an exhale, just lowering yourself down to whatever height feels good for you. If you have your block, you can rest your face on your block. Remembering it's okay to play with different heights here. Resting on your elbows here. Really engaging yourself in this pose. Feeling that stretch along your right hamstring, maybe through your glutes. One more breath here. And on an inhale, we're going to raise ourselves up. Opening up once again, collarbone towards the ceiling. Then on an exhale, we're going to move to tabletop. Find our core strength here as we inhale. And on an exhale, flipping our toes, bring ourselves back to downward dog. Once again, pushing through our palms of our hands, keeping those fingers spread, finding that alignment, making sure you can't see your heels. And on an inhale, we're going to lift our left leg into the air. And on an exhale, we're going to bring our knee towards our nose. Inhaling back up. Exhaling, knee to nose. Inhaling back up. And on an exhale, bringing that left knee behind your left wrist. Right heel goes underneath your right hip. Settling ourselves into pigeon on the other side now. We're going to inhale, opening up our chest towards the sky. And on an exhale, we're going to fold as far as we like. Pigeon may feel very different to you from one side to another. Couple more breaths here. And on an inhale, we're going to raise ourselves up. Once again, opening up our chest towards the ceiling. And on an exhale, we're going to take our foot back, coming into tabletop. Drishti or gaze straight ahead. Inhaling, and as we exhale, we're going to lower our bums down into child's pose. You take your child's pose that you need tonight. Pushing through the fingers. You want a little bit of a shoulder stretch. Or simply wrapping your arms on either side of you. Or head touching the mat. Couple more breaths here. And on your next inhale, I invite you to raise yourself up and find yourself in staff pose. So your hands are just resting on either side of you. Feet are out in front, legs straight. Sitting up straight and tall. Maybe activating your toes so that they're pointing towards you. I'm going to turn to face you guys this way. And on your next inhale, we're going to take our left foot and bring it in towards the inside of our thigh. On an inhale, we're going to keep our hands on the ground, looking up. And on an exhale, we're going to slide our hands along the ground to whatever distance is comfortable for us, keeping those toes engaged, pointing towards our forehead. Inhale, looking up. And as we exhale, we're going to grab a hold of whatever length we're at here. So you could have your toes, your foot, your shin. Being mindful of your lower back here. And keeping your hands parallel with each other. And like many yoga poses, as you inhale, straightening up a bit. And as you exhale, folding a little further if that feels okay. Being careful not to arch your back too much. Or curve your back, I guess. Couple more breaths here. On the inhale, we're going to slide ourselves up. Exhaling the left foot out to meet the right. Finding ourselves once again in staff. And as we inhale, we're going to take the right foot now, bring it to the inside of our left thigh. Keeping our hands on the ground, inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, sliding our hands down towards our foot. Inhaling, looking up. Grabbing wherever you're at. And as you exhale, folding forward. Drawing that lower abdomen in. Keeping your lower back healthy. So the stretch here is coming through your hamstrings and your glutes. It's not how far you bend forward. So you might be here and feeling a beautiful stretch, or here. You feel those shoulders starting to hunch up a little bit. Just bring them down. Slide them down towards your waist. One more breath here. On an inhale, we'll slide ourselves back up. Exhaling our feet out. All right, so I'm going to turn this way now. And we are going to exhale ourselves all the way down to our mat. Now, whatever angle you're at right now, just invite you to watch me for a moment, okay? So we're going to go into fish. So I'm going to demo it first, and then we'll all do it together. And the reason why I don't want you to do it while I'm demoing it is because you might be turning your neck or your head to look at me. So when you do fish, you're always going to want to keep your face facing the ceiling. All right, so feel free to watch first. So my legs are going to be straight out away from me, and my toes are pointing towards the back wall. I'm going to take my hands and place them, lift my feet up, or my bum up, and put my hands palm down underneath my bum. Once again, pointing my toes out. My elbows are touching my mat. And as I inhale, I'm going to raise myself up on my elbows and allowing my well, my ponytail is touching the mat, but you allow the crown of your head to touch the mat. So I'm going to lower back down here and just get rid of my ponytail. So we're going to do that all together. If you're not comfortable doing that, that's okay. You don't have to. You can always bring yourself into reverse child's pose. So for those of you that would like to try, don't look at me. Face is facing the ceiling. You take the palms of your hands and put them underneath your bum so they're touching the mat. Your shoulders are touching the mat. Your arms are kind of underneath your body a little bit. And then as you inhale, you're going to raise yourself up on your elbows, letting the crown of your head touch the mat. We're going to hold this for a couple more breaths. Come out of it anytime you want. And on an exhale, we're just going to gently lower ourselves down, bringing our hands out from underneath of us and inhaling our knees to our chest into reclined child's pose. Letting those shoulders drop down to the mat, hugging your knees in towards your chest. One of the first words my daughter Sage said was fish, and she loved it. She'd go, fish. So every time we do fish pose, I think of how she used to say it, fish. All right, we're going to move into happy baby. So we're going to take our hands and slide them through our, between our legs towards our feet. So you're grabbing your toes, the outside of your foot or your ankles, and your knees are bent towards your chest. And on the inhale, you're going to lift just the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. Feel free to rock around here a little bit if that's okay for you tonight. Sometimes I rock, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do a larger rock, sometimes I do just a little one. So it's all, a big part of yoga is knowing your body and knowing what works for you. One of the benefits of online yoga is you're with you. So just really being mindful of yourself. And on an exhale, we're going to release our feet, keeping our knees bent. And for our last pose of the night, we're going to put our hands into cactus or a T. Our knees are bent, our soles of our feet are on the mat. We're going to inhale. And on an exhale, we're going to let our knees drop to the right as we turn to the left. So our foreheads are turning to the left, our knees are dropping to the right. If you're feeling any discomfort through your knees here or your legs, you can prop a block underneath your knees. Inhaling, knees up, forehead facing the ceiling. And on an exhale, we're going to drop our knees to our left, turning our forehead to our right. It's a really super awesome pose to do before bed. Inhaling our knees back up towards ceiling, our forehead facing the ceiling. And we can bring our knees, give ourselves a little hug one more time. Exhaling. Maybe rolling our ankles a little bit. then I invite you to come into your version of Shavasana tonight. So you can keep your knees bent. You can let your legs go straight out. Feel free to grab your bolster if you want. And hands splayed out on either side. I invite you to exhale through your mouth on your next exhale. Big sigh. Letting go of that breath. Letting your tongue fall away from the backs of your teeth. Relaxing your jaw. Relaxing your forehead. Relaxing your tummy. Bringing your awareness to that space between your eyeballs and your eyelids. And allowing your awareness to find your awareness. And we'll bring our awareness back to our breath. And without controlling it, just noticing it. And bringing our awareness into our bodies. Maybe wiggling our fingers and our toes. Waking ourselves up a little bit with a little stretch. giving yourselves one last hug or moving yourself how you need to. And we're going to turn to our sides, resting our head on our arm. And when you're ready, raising yourself up. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste.